Be okay, big dreams of Hollywood, skylines and private planes, bright lights and brighter days. And one day I'd be okay. Oh yeah, big dreams of Hollywood. I turn my Rex to riches, go Jordan on these Pippins. My outfit make a statement that you can't put in a sentence. Nike checks, I do it. Rock hot tops like a hooper. Ahead of my time, I take you back into the future. Fuck, waiting on the new year. This the new me, I'ma do your suit and time ain't never suit your bucky.
What is up, WTP fam? It's your boy back with another one. We are kicking off the year right. We are here with the first podcast of the year, which means we just finished Monday Night Raw, the first Monday Night Raw of the year, the 1 year anniversary show since they've gone to Netflix, Stranger Things edition, which, don't get me wrong, I always enjoy a good theme on a Monday Night Raw, but of course, I just feel like Stranger Things was kind of a little bit forced just because of the Netflix thing. I think that was Netflix is doing of, hey, we need y'all to promote some of our shows. Like, straight up, that's what the deal is. And of course, I think a lot of that has to do with, Netflix pretty much getting almost everything that is WWE now. Because if you don't know, obviously, since the beginning of the year, which just a few days now, Netflix has also acquired not only Monday Night Raw for its stuff, but it's pretty much obtained the entire library of WWE. I know they have a lot of the major PLEs already on there, like Mania, Rumble, SummerSlam, just to name a few things. And of course, they're adding more as they go. So pretty much they have a very, very huge deal going on. So I think the Stranger Things theme last night or tonight was their way of like, hey, we're gonna get our money's worth. So you guys are about to promote a lot of our stuff a lot more than what y'all usually do. I mean, I've never personally seen Stranger Things, but a lot of people in the comments were letting me know like, hey, it is a good show, so you should check it out. So I might do that. I'm not sure yet. I always enjoy a good show. So if people recommend it and they speak highly of it, then okay, I'm gonna go for it. But anyways, tonight's episode. I can't talk right now. Tonight's episode was actually not too bad, in my opinion. Tonight's show, it was solid for what it was. They could have done better in some aspects of the show. They could have given us a little bit more action than what they did. And what I'm talking about is that, WWE, TKO, they have a weird thing going on right now. They like to overwhelm fans with commercial breaks. Last night, one of my biggest things was like, hey, and it usually is my biggest complaint of the shows every time they have them. And, that's the overwhelming sensation of ads. Obviously, my people overseas don't feel that because they don't get that many ads. Everybody over here in the States, obviously, what I'm talking about. Like, that we get overwhelmed with a bunch of commercial breaks. And, when there's a solid matchup going on, they like to interrupt a lot of the things happening with a break. Now, I get it. You got to make your money somehow, some way, but you already have a crap ton of ads all over the ring. You have a crap ton of sponsors. You have a crap ton of stuff going on already. And then, of course, you have the Stranger Things going on last night. So I don't think they should have overwhelmed us with so many ads last night. I think they should have dialed it down a bit. Because I think each break was almost like 7 ads total each break. And don't think the ads were like what they used to do on USA Network. Like, you'll get like 10, 15 minutes of, entertainment, wrestling and all that. And then bam, they give you an ad. They give you ads, but it was just like maybe a few minutes, like a minute or two of ads, and then straight back to the action. So, that's something that I feel is what took away from me last night. A lot of the stuff happening was just all the ads. Because there was some stuff that wasn't televised for the, U.S. fans that I'm aware of. Like, I think Javon Evans finally signed his main roster deal. And that's one thing. And then I think there was another segment with Stephanie Vakir and Raquel that I didn't get to see. I'm not sure if anybody else did, but Raquel actually attacked Stephanie in the back of the arena when they were helping her, I guess, to the medical place, whatever they're doing back there. I'm not sure, but she got attacked again. There's just like some things that you don't get to see if you are in the United States, obviously, and only the overseas fans gets to watch because, obviously if you turn on your VPN and all that, you get to see a lot of those things. But last night I wasn't using a VPN. I was just using, like just straight, internet signal and all that. But let's get into the actual show now. Like that was one of the biggest things that was my biggest pet peeve on the show. It's just those ads, like all that ads and not getting to see everything it just drives me nuts sometimes. But last night when it comes to in-ring action, the WWE gave us a total of 4 matches. Just 4. Now, I get it. You have to do all these things for TV purposes and all this and that to make everybody happy. But at the end of the day, when you give us 4 matches, it's like, really? Really? Just 4? Like, usually you at least try to give us 5 or 6, especially if this is the first show of the year. And your name is World Wrestling Entertainment. Like, the key word in there is wrestling. You're entertaining us with wrestling. But I feel like last night they did fairly well. I'm not going to dog all the matches. Like, I'm not, because 2 out of 4 of the matches were actually pretty solid. The tag team match, with Kabuki Warriors and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, that was a solid matchup. CM Punk, Braun Breaker, solid matchup. But the other 2 matches, the 2 women's matches that happened in between, not so much. And we'll get into why here in a second. But when it comes to the in-ring action and the overall production of the show with all the ads and everything they were doing last night, I feel like it lacked the wrestling aspect of the show because they did a lot of talking. If you actually add up all the ad breaks, all the talking that they do or they did in the show, then it's like, man, you literally gave us maybe an hour of actual wrestling, maybe, if that, and the rest of the show was just talking and ad breaks. It's like you barely gave us any real wrestling at all. And I think that right there, just it wasn't for me, like that whole part of it. So like if I were to give a ranking for the overall show itself with everything that happened last night, I would probably honestly say that the show itself was like a 6 out of 10. And what made me give it that kind of ranking was just like, it's just way too many ads. It's just way too much talking in between. Like, we need more wrestling. We need more action. Like, I get it. You have Gunther. He just beat John Cena. He needs to brag about it. But, like, Jesus, like, if Gunther's taking 10, 15 minutes a night just to brag about it, and, that's from, having the camera on him in the back to when he walks out to cutting his promo. And then, of course, AJ coming out and doing his thing with him, slapping him, calling him a a bitch and all that, then, that's just like way too much time right there. Like that's like 10, 15 minutes of time. And then not only that, but you gave him another segment in the back right after an ad break. Like, wow, like that's just way too much time. And in the words of Bruce Pritchard, it was overproduced. If you know, you know, because they also did like an ad for their Unreal season 2, which, that was actually pretty good. Like that reel, when it started off with Paul Hammond, that was actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie about that. I've seen maybe 2 episodes of Unreal. I was just like, maybe we shouldn't know everything, but it's there. They're doing another part of it. So, yeah. But like I said, they just did way too much time with the talking. And then, of course, they brought out Stephanie Valkyria, which I'm not complaining about seeing her. Like, let's be real here. But her promo and everything, when she walked out, I really thought she was about to vacate the title with her limping and the boot on her foot and all that. I really thought she was about to vacate that title, but they kind of gave it a twist. She didn't, and I guess she's just going to take time off because, of course, at the end of her segment, she got attacked by Raquel. And then, obviously, Raquel just dominated her. And I guess she's going to be out for a few weeks because they never actually said that she's vacating a title. I'm just assuming they're writing her off, probably to heal some stuff, and then she'll be right back. But that's okay because, we obviously they have a solid women's division. It's just better when she's there. So that whole segment with Raquel and Stephanie, it was actually a good thing. In my opinion, that segment was actually a good thing because, let's be real, Raquel is she's a solid athlete. She's solid. Like she's tall, she's athletic, she's strong as hell. So why not give her that moment and build her up to be an actual threat to Stephanie, right? Especially if she's doing like the Big Daddy Cool Diesel kind of thing, those vibes. Like she needs something like that to really elevate the character she's trying to portray. And the fact that she's doing these things without members of Judgment Day, it just says a whole lot that they're trying to build her up as an individual, have her slowly break away from the group, which is very good for her because she's been doing really well within it. Now it's time to see what she can do outside of it. Like that's the whole thing with her. That segment last night, she did really well with the attack, the standing over Stephanie, like legit, like I'm gonna mess you up kind of vibes. Like that whole thing was just solid from the moment she jumped into the ring to the moment they had to force her out. And then of course they had the segment in the back that, like I said, I didn't get to see while we were watching on, live and all that, but she finished the job in the back pretty much. And let me jump back to the Gunther and AJ segment though. Also after Gunther's segment, and AJ's outside in the ring and all that, they announced that they're going to have a match next week. So they're finally doing that. And, I should have talked about this, while I was on the subject, but kind of jumping back a little bit. But, when we, in the comment section, when I was live, of course, and that whole thing went down with AJ and Gunther, a lot of people were like, hopefully Gunther does not retire AJ. Hopefully he's not the one to do that. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit. I don't think AJ's retiring next week. Let's be real. He's not retiring because we also had a segment with Ray and Dragon Lee where Dragon Lee kind of said like, hey, I'm going to get titles this year. I'm going to get my titles back. I'm going to, he was talking to Ray like, hey, thank you for the advice. Thank you for helping me out. Let me go talk to AJ. So that pretty much signifies that there's something there for AJ and Dragon Lee to probably go back for their titles. But of course, AJ is dealing with Gunther at the same time. So I don't think Gunther's retiring AJ next week, guys. Like let's calm down. Let's bring it back. Like I know AJ is retiring possibly this year. He's already said he's going to retire before he's 50. He's like 47, 48 right now. So we still probably have another good year of AJ. If not, I think the best timeline for AJ to kind of step away from WWE or from his career would probably be WrestleMania. Honestly think, in my opinion, that we could get one more AJ Styles at WrestleMania, like one more WrestleMania moment with him in some kind of high caliber match, and that's how they'll send him off. Like I don't think they'll just have him show up to Monday Night Raw, get squashed by Gunther, and then leave. Like that would be unfair to AJ. That would be unfair to everything he's done in wrestling. Like I don't think they'll do that to him, and that's my honest opinion. And I don't think Gunther will be the one to do it. I think AJ will just have one of those moments where he goes out. He may lose the match, but I think he'll have a solid matchup, whether it's in the tag team division or one-on-one with somebody. Like I think the way he goes out is that he's going to go out having a banger of a match, and that's what's going to call it quits for his career. I don't think they'll do him dirty by having him get squashed by somebody. But all right. So now that we got a lot of that out of the way, the segment, with everybody going out there and this and that, like let's get into the matches themselves. Now, what kicked off the night was Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the women's tag team titles. Now, the overall match, I can't complain about it. It was a really solid matchup with all four ladies. A lot of close calls, a lot of great teamwork from both sides of the ring. Like these women just mash really well together. Like obviously, Io, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, they've pretty much came up in the business together, Japan and everything. Like they know each other very well. They know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So them three ladies right there, they just mesh really well together. And then you throw Rhea Ripley into the mix. It's like, wow, okay, she's the powerhouse of all of them. And, they're doing their high flying. They're doing all their kicks and everything. They're doing everything, giving all these hard shots to Rhea, pretty much like almost strong style. And her being able to take it, she meshed really well with them last night. She just was in the groove with all of it. She was doing her thing. Then Io was doing her thing. And, Asuka and Kairi, they were just all over the place. They were doing really well. The match itself, I feel like, kicked off the show really well. Like, that match got my hopes, like, way up here. Like at first I was like, okay, this match should be in the middle or something, but they kicked off the show with it, and it made me think the show was going to be up here all night. Like, I didn't look up the card or anything yesterday. I just said, hey, let me go into this. I'm not going to know nothing about the show except I already know what the main event is. Like, I'm just going to go into this, not really worried about who's going to be wrestling, what matches and all that. I'm just going to watch the show and enjoy it and take a few notes, right? This match, like I said, it got my hopes up. And then it kind of went down with these next two matches. But last night with Rhea and Io winning the matchup, that was a good call. Honestly, it was a good call. They got their titles. They're the tag team champions now. And it's going to be fun to see what comes next. But obviously, there's a lot of people going for those titles. And two of them is Nia Jax and Lash Legend. So we're going to have to see what happens with that because it seems a little unfair. It's going to be pretty much a 2-on-1 because, those two women are going to gang up on Rhea and take her out, and then poor Io is going to be by herself if that match happens. But the next matchup was Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree for the IC women's title. Now, this matchup, I'm not going to lie. It looked good on paper. The build-up was decent. Obviously, Maxine beat Becky not that long ago for that title. Since then, they have been putting out vignettes of her training with Natty, pretty much trying to like make her go from like a goofball gimmick to a serious competitor. Now, in this matchup, like I said, it looked good on paper. The build-up was fairly decent. But Maxine, I don't know if Maxine and Becky just, there's not that chemistry there. Like they just don't mesh well together. Or Maxine is still just very green, like very new to this. That, you know, I don't know if the high, like the pressure got to her being in the ring on a big night. Like, I don't know, but there were some moments in that match last night that just showed how, like, unprepared Maxine was. There was a move in the middle of the ring that she did. She locked up with, you know, Becky's arms and she went straight down. Like, I don't know what she was going there. That even Corey Graves, like, what, I don't know what that was kind of moment. Like, what the heck was that? But I guess it knocked down Becky or whatever. I don't know if she was trying to like lean forward a little bit when she was going down and sitting straight down to kind of give like maybe an attack on Becky's back or something, or her shoulders. But the move that she did just gave, like, it was no sell, like no nothing. It just looked sloppy. And then there was a moment where obviously Becky was, I guess, trying to throw Maxine out the ring. Maxine didn't flow well with it, and it looked very terrible. Like, there was a lot of spots in that match that were noticeably unbearable to watch at some points. Like I don't know. I just don't know if it was like a Maxine thing, being like, you know, not being able to thrive under pressure, or she's just still that new that she's still working on some aspects of her in-ring abilities. But obviously someone like Becky should have had a better matchup with somebody like at this level of a night, where it's like, you've hyped us up for this night. This matchup did not give the fans their money's worth, especially with the ending of this match. Like, I don't know who booked this matchup at the end, but that roll up to hold on to the ropes to win from an ankle lock, it was very uneasy to watch. Like, you can go back and look at the clip on my TikTok and whatever social media you have me on, but that roll up and holding onto the rope, barely even holding onto the rope, like literally Becky's arm was kind of just like sitting on the rope, not even pulling on it or nothing. And you clearly see Maxine just kind of like this with the ankle, looking straight at the referee. Like, there was a whole big spot where you can see Maxine could have easily just rolled over a little bit to get the arm up, and she's clearly watching the referee. 1, 2, 3. And in my mind, I'm like, no. Why? Why did we book it that way? Was it supposed to look like that? What is going on? Those were my thoughts when I saw that little sloppy roll up with her holding the rope, barely holding the rope. I'm just like, really, Becky? Really, Maxine? Really, ref? Like, ref, you could have seen for days that Becky was holding onto the rope. Like, Maxine, you clearly were able to just like, you had all that room, because from the angle that we saw on TV, it literally looked like, you know, Becky's here, this the rope, and Maxine was kind of like to the side a little bit, like at an angle to where she could have easily just rolled left or right, no problem. And the referee can clearly look underneath Becky and see that her arm was on the rope. Like there was just like that big wide open spot that showed everything of what was like. It was a fuck show. Like it was a clusterfuck right there. I don't know what it was. Like the ending to that match was terrible. The match itself was not that great. There was some good spots in it. I won't dog the entire match, but there was some good spots. There was both ladies did what they could with what they had, and yeah, like the overall match that you could have placed that somewhere else. You could have done that another day. Honestly, I think it's just because it's Becky and it's a title. They did it on that show. They probably could have saved it for next week or something, but. You know, if they wanted to give us a banger of a match, they could have just gave us Gunther versus AJ, you know, on this show instead of next week. But let's move on. The next matchup was Liv Morgan versus Lyra. Now, this matchup was, I guess, Liv Morgan's return to the ring, her first matchup back or something like that. And it's against Lyra Valkyria. This matchup was better than Maxine versus Becky. In my opinion, this matchup was a lot better. A lot more action going on. Both women did really well together. Of course, it had its moments where it was kind of like, okay. But the overall presentation of this match was very well. It was very well executed. I'm not just saying all this because I'm a Liv fan or a Lyra fan. Honestly, in my opinion, this matchup was just way better than Maxine and Becky. Was it up there with the tag team match that we saw on the night? No. But this was just better than the IC title match, in my opinion. And, you know, obviously if you watch the show, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, it was just overall more organized, very well produced, very well executed by both ladies, especially for Liv's match. I guess her first match back, but she wasn't out that long to where they can say that, oh, she has ring rust and this and that. Like, it's not like she was out for like a whole year. She was out for a few months, like maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe if that. And then of course, you know, she came right back in, had a good match with someone who she meshed well with. So in my opinion, this match was better than the IC title match. It was, you know, executed a lot better. So I'll give credit to those two ladies as well on that one, that they did well. And, you know, was it like a, oh my God kind of match? No, it wasn't. But again, it was just better than the first match before theirs. And then last but not least, we had CM Punk versus Braun Breaker. Like this matchup right here. A lot of people are going to be upset with the finish of the match. I'm not neither upset nor happy, and I'll tell you why. I really didn't care who won this match. I like CM Punk. Obviously, he just won the title not that long ago, so it's kind of expected he could hold the title a little bit longer, maybe up until Mania, and maybe Rumble time. Who knows? Like I don't know, but CM Punk holding the title, like not losing last night, was okay with me. Like I'm not mad about it. I'm not happy about it either, but you know, there's probably a bigger plan behind this. There's probably a bigger payday for this matchup between these two guys. Because let's be real, last night was the first time they actually were in singles competition together. They've had obviously some tag team matches, War Games matches and this and that, but they've never been in the ring together, one-on-one, just them two, straight up, toe-to-toe. Obviously, there was a gauntlet match. There was the War Games match that these two saw each other in. But other than that, this is their first time actually going toe to toe. So Braun Breaker's presentation from beginning to end was, it looked like he was just going to win the whole thing last night. It looked like he was going to win the way that they were, obviously hyping him up, obviously with the vision. Everything just pointed to Braun Breaker could be walking out as the new World Heavyweight Champion. But that wasn't the case. From beginning to end, this match was, had some good spots. It had a lot of very impactful moves. People went through tables. People got really fucked up. Like, a lot of stuff happened. Vision came out. Dragon Lee, Penta, Ray, they came out, fought off the Vision. I really thought with them out the way, Paul and Braun would have been able to get over on Punk on their own, but it didn't happen that way. Obviously, the match, they were fucking each other up. Then everybody came out. People got ran off. And, I kind of felt bad for Rey Mysterio because he got caught by, Bronson Reed. And I thought he was going to go through a table. But, of course, Penta and Dragon Lee saved him with some super kicks. And it caused the action to go into the crowd. And they fought them off, which is kind of cool. Like, just imagine them three guys in a tag team. Dragon Lee, Penta, and Rey Mysterio. Like, that would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, like them three guys in the tag team would be dope as hell. Like, this could be something that they're building up. Them three guys to be maybe a faction or something, which would make sense because Ray hasn't had too many singles matches. He's been put in a lot of tag team matches, but it is what it is. But that's going to be interesting to see. But they chased them off. They chased off the Vision, which left Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman by themselves with Punk. And honestly, I really thought Punk was going to lose. Because especially with that one moment when I guess he went for a dive and Braun Breaker just hit him with an uppercut, it looked like Punk pancaked himself on the freaking ground because he dove through, got hit, and just kind of like blah, like hit the mat really hard or hit the ground really hard. I thought he was like legit knocked the fuck out. Like, I really thought he was out, but that wasn't the case. After that, he went through the table, and then of course Braun was throwing him into the ring. Like, I legit thought Braun was going to run the ropes at his 20-something miles per hour speed and spear the shit out of Punk and get the 1, 2, 3. But of course, knee to the face, GTS, that's all she wrote. And honestly, that just I guess that's more of a veteran tactic. Like, Punk was aware of where he was at and was able to execute on where he was at and able to finish the match and get the win. That, people are going to say that's a legend. That's a veteran move of him to be able to be aware of what's happening still, hitting him in the face with a strong knee, which it wasn't that strong. It was kind of a little bit on the sloppy side, but, when you got a guy like Braun running at you almost at full speed and he's pretty quick, it's kind of makes it hard for you to get that knee up all the way. But, he hit him in the face, hit him in the GTS. And yeah, so he got him 1, 2, 3. And it wasn't a bad showing for Braun Breaker. It wasn't a bad showing. This is why I say I'm not mad that he didn't win. I'm not mad that he lost. Because he had a good showing. He went in there with the current World Heavyweight Champion, a veteran like CM Punk, had a very solid matchup on his own for the most part. Because I know a lot of people are like, he was about to cheat to win, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's a heel. He's supposed to fucking do that. He started off the match strong. He ended the match strong. He held his own. And, during this build-up, he's been cutting some really good promos. He's been showing that he can be a top guy, and he will be a top guy in the future. But in my opinion of this, last night was not the payday for him to win the match. The payday comes at a later date. Maybe Braun, he gets pushed back to the end of the line. Okay. What happens when you get pushed to the back of the line? You got to make a statement and get back to the front. How do you do that? My money is on the Royal Rumble. I'm going to say it now. There's a chance this year we see Braun Breaker possibly winning the Royal Rumble. And, some people might disagree with that. Some people may agree with it. But if he lost last night and they kick him out the Vision for some reason, because everyone was under the assumption that Chris Jericho was going to show up and kick Braun Breaker out of Vision pretty much. Like, I don't know where they got the idea from. Obviously, there's some rumors that he was going to be there. There's rumors that he was still on the AEW roster page, this and that. I don't know. Like, everyone was convinced that Chris Jericho was showing up last night. Don't know why. Don't know why he would be in that segment at all. If anything, he probably could come out on a different segment, maybe during a Miz moment or something. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, that's where I'm at with that. But anyways, don't know why they thought that. But anyways, they did their thing. They obviously had Braun lose. But like I said, I think the payday comes. Braun's year. Braun has all these moments. He goes to the Rumble. He wins the Rumble. He goes to Mania and beats, if it's CM Punk still champion, then he beats CM Punk for the title at WrestleMania. It makes sense. I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, he should have won last night. Why did CM Punk win? Like, again, there's a payday. There's a certain time and date that they have in mind that the moment would be bigger on this day and not this. Because, let's be real. Would you rather have Braun Breaker win on a Monday Night Raw where it was kind of like, it was all right? Or would you rather him win in a bigger venue in front of more people where it's more meaningful for him to win that? Because I can't remember a time a Steiner won a major title at WrestleMania. I can't remember one. I mean, his uncle Scott had a 1-year run or something like that with WWE. He never won the World Heavyweight title. I honestly can't remember a single title he won. I could be wrong. But obviously his dad and uncle won some titles in other places, whatever. But as a singles competitor, I don't remember the last time a Steiner won a major title in WWE. But let's keep going. So, yeah, I think the bigger payday for them is at Mania, possibly for Braun Breaker to win this title. It's the bigger payday. It's more meaningful. So I'm not mad. Punk winning just set something up for the future. And I know long-term storytelling isn't everyone's cup of tea, but when you got to make up a lot of stories for an entire year of stuff, then, good luck. So, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. Last night, their matchup was solid. I'm not mad at the end result. It was a lot better than some of the matches on the card. I'll tell you that. But if I were to give a clear winner to who had the best match of the night, it would probably be the women's tag team match. Like, that one was like the one for me. It was good. Obviously had an ending that we can all enjoy. But, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, can't take away nothing from them guys. It's just like a lot of people won't agree to the finish. That's why they probably won't give it any praise, but that matchup was good. It was solid. So like I said, overall, I gave Raw 6 out of 10 just because there was moments in there that just I wish they didn't do. There was a matchup that I wish didn't happen on the card. They probably, like I said, could have replaced that matchup with something else or probably added more to the card itself, because 4 matches on a show that ran about 2.5 hours almost. Like, come on. Like, that wasn't even an hour of wrestling. Like, if it was an hour of wrestling, then damn, okay. That's a shocker to me. But I feel like they mostly gave us more talking segments and a lot of fucking ads. Like, I just feel like it's just an ad show at this point. It's not even an actual wrestling show. So, like, that's my opinion on Raw. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed this right here, this episode, my take on what happened. If you want to follow for more, you can follow me on all my social media accounts. I'm on TikTok, obviously YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just follow me everywhere. The link is in the bio. But of course, as more comes out and as more shows come out, I will be here to review them, because this year we are doing a lot more. We're going to be doing a review on almost every show we watch. So make sure you tune in for all of these episodes in the future. And until next time, guys, y'all stay safe. God bless and peace.